For many Ndị Igbo raised within Christianity, the word Chi is often translated as a guardian angel or a guiding spirit. But what if this interpretation is incomplete? What if Chi within our Igbo cosmological system is something far deeper than a guiding spirit? What if the Chi is not merely a spirit that is guiding us or guiding you as an individual, but a direct spark of creation itself? In Igbo Odinaani, Chi is understood as a personal manifestation of Chi-Ukwu, the great creator, a cosmic creative force that exists not only within human beings, but within trees, animals, rivers, stones, and all aspects of existence itself. This means that Chi is not separate from creation. Chi is a direct expression of creation, but expresses itself individually. But if Chi is this sacred and powerful, how then do we align with it? How did our ancestors nourish our Chi or nourish their Chi? How did they perform rituals such as Ima Chi, Idotu Chi, Inye Chi Nri, and what exactly does Nso Chi means? Now, in this video, we are going to explore the Igbo understanding of Chi beyond colonial translations and religious interpretations, and uncover how our ancestors saw alignment with one's Chi as one of the most important aspects of our entire existence. Before we talk about understanding the Chi, let's give a simple interpretation or definition of what the Chi is. Now, I define Chi as an aspect of the creator, Chi-Ukwu, that possesses the same creating functionality but on a personal level. Now, in our cosmology, when we talk about how do we come into existence, this is where the Chi takes precedence. We never believe that during our creation process that Chi-Ukwu, God per se, has a direct influence on it. Rather, the Chi decides to create an individual and would also have accompanying spirits that Ndị Igbo refer to as Mmụọ So Chi, entities, collective spirits that accompanies the Chi. Together, they all contribute in the creating of an individual. Now, this creation process that we are making reference to, it is not just about the physical self, because in Igbo cosmology, it is believed that the spirit is first created before the physical manifestation of what the spirit has put together. This interpretation comes from my understanding of Chi as a cosmic creating force that exists within all facets of existence, both living and non-living. Therefore, in our cosmology as Ndị Igbo, we believe that trees, stones, animals, all of them possesses the Chi force within them. And collectively, the manifestation of each Chi cumulates into what Ndị Igbo know as Chi-Ukwu, the great creator. This understanding of Chi is different from Christianity. Now, Chi within Christianity is often translated, or it often means a guiding angel. But a lot of Ndị Igbo do not traditionally understand or perceive Chi as a guiding spirit due to the misunderstanding that usually arises from attempts that force Igbo cosmological concepts into religious categories. In Odinaani, Chi is far deeper and far more complex. We believe the word Chi carries layered meanings, such as a powerful divine essence, one's metaphysical double, our destiny and consciousness, as well as one's direct spark or portion from the great Chi-Ukwu. These nuances are what differentiates our Igbo interpretation and understanding of Chi from religious understanding. Within our Odinaani, our interaction in alignment with the Chi is often maintained through two major factors. The first one is Ichu Aja and the preservation of Nso Chi, which is Nso Chi here entails the moral laws that exist between a person and their Chi. Now, in the number one factor that maintains our relationship with Chi, which is the factor of Ichu Aja, within the context of Ichu Aja, is what we know first and foremost as Ima Chi. Because via our cosmology, you have to know about something before you decide to sacrifice to it. So the first stage here is the Ima Chi, the knowing of the Chi. Now, this process can exist in various stages. The first stage is the Ima Chi ritual. Now, in the past, this ritual was performed by our parents as part of what our ancestors regarded as Esauzo, the clearing of one's path for a healthier transition into adulthood and adult responsibilities. At this stage of this ritual, other accompanying entities are also made known. Earlier, I talked about Mmụọ So Chi. At this stage of the Ima Chi ritual, this is where other entities that follows an individual is revealed and made known, because our ancestors believed that these other aspects of our Hammo or Mad accompanying spirits all have a part to play in the life a person is supposed to live. So at this stage, this is where they not only know, identify the Chi, they also identify other collective and cumulative spirits as well. The second stage is the ritual that we know as Idotu Chi. Our ancestors believed that prior to the consecration of the Chi within an effigy, Idotu Chi, the Chi existed within other portals of Umuabala. Now, Umuabara, we also refer to them as pantheons. These are existential spirits that were not instituted by human beings, but they came about, or let's say they predate the existence of human beings and some alloy. Hence, while a couple of people would go for divination and they would tell you that, oh, your chi babara na lose, or that your chi still dwells within Anyanwụ. So you have to do the needful by Idotu Chi, bringing down your chi and consecrating it within an effigy that you can keep close to yourself or your home. It's just like raising a spiritual altar, but this altar is amplified by your chi energy. This act of consecrating the chi within an oposi, an effigy, it means that you're giving a physical shelter within your home, and this action grants your chi a sense of importance. Therefore, the value that you have placed on your chi is now reflected in the direction your life will take after the performance of this ritual. The third stage of the chi ritual is the ritual of Isi Ite. Most of us know this ritual as Inye Chi Nri, the feeding of the chi. During this ritual, the items presented are cooked and a portion will be served to the chi, while the remaining portion is collectively shared and eaten by friends and family as an extension of feeding the collective chi of those present. Now, finally, we'll talk about the other process, which is the preservation of the chi's nso, moral laws that keep us aligned with our chi. Now, many people ask, between these two practices of Ido and Ichu Aja, which is more important? The answer to this is that without adhering to the Chi's moral laws, our acts of Ichu Aja becomes utterly meaningless. Now, some of these moral laws that exist that ties you to your chi could include it could mean abstaining from certain activities. It could mean the avoidance of alcoholism. It could be the avoidance of promiscuity. It could be the avoidance of perpetuating any forms of immorality or injustice. It varies from person to person. So your type of Nso Chi could differ from the Nso Chi of the person that is next to you. But ultimately, the preservation of this Nso ties you to your Chi and maintains a healthy spiritual relationship. Now, therefore, when we ask how do we nourish our Chi, the answer lies within these explanations that I've given. The ritual based energy that we derive from Ichu Aja amplifies or strengthens the Chi into performing in a higher functioning state, while one's character and behavior, which is while preserving the Nso of our Chi, maintains a continued alignment with our Chi. Therefore, if you fail at maintaining your Chi's Nso, you have ultimately failed at nourishing and preserving and being in alignment with your Chi.